There's a stage that comes after the heartbreak of a divorce that you didn't want. It's a stage that's almost inevitable in the healing process. It's after you've gone through the darkness. You're not down in that hole anymore. You're not having those really scary suicidal thoughts or those really dark days, but you haven't really fully healed either. And this stage can be really scary for a lot of men because they start to wonder, will I ever feel like myself again? Right? I'm not down in that hole, but I'm not excited when I wake up in the morning. I'm not looking forward to the day. I'm not looking forward to the next years of my life. One of my clients describes it as it feels as though all of the color has been drained out of the world and everything's just kind of gray. And in that stage, creativity is gone. You don't find yourself being creative. There's no passion for anything. There's no excitement. And I think what most men don't realize, or actually maybe they do realize it, but they're scared to really fully admit it to themselves, is that this stage, this grayness, this limbo, this lackluster kind of living, it can last for years if you don't do something about it. Healing from a divorce that you didn't want takes transformation. Time is not enough, and I can say this from experience. I have talked to way too many men and worked with way too many men who didn't come to me for help until they were years out from the divorce. 6 years is like this magic number. I have had so many clients at the 6-year mark where they're like, wow, Rachel, it's been 6 years and I can't move on. I've had guys as far out as 10 years, 12 years. I think 12 is my current record. 12 years after divorce, still in gray, still no passion, still no joy, still no beauty in your life, no excitement in the morning. It's horrible. It's a horrible way to live. And this can persist. Like, so many people think that time is the answer and they move on. They think they've moved on. They start a new relationship. I've had clients come back and take my Better Beyond Divorce program who were already remarried, but they were finally able to admit to themselves that they weren't fully healed and they weren't fully happy. And sometimes you don't even notice that that's going on until it starts to impact your new relationships. So I'm hoping that you're recognizing it a little bit sooner. You know, I talk to a lot of guys who they're like, yeah, Rachel, a few months ago, I was in the pit of darkness, but now things are better, right? I'm sleeping a little better, not losing weight anymore, I'm functioning at work. But life is lackluster. The joy is not there, the passion isn't there. The good news is that we can move past this. You have to stop relying on time, and you also have to stop thinking about your ex or making peace with what happened with her. The key to getting out of this limbo, to getting the color and the vibrancy back in your life, is your own healing. There's a couple of layers to this. First, you have to heal your nervous system. So many of the symptoms that you're experiencing in this stage, they're because you're in a chronic fight or flight or a low grade, like high functioning freeze response. When the nervous system gets activated and we get up into that fight or flight, and fight or flight is pretty easy to identify if you're there, you feel frustrated or anxious. Anything in the family of anger or anxiety or fear, that's fight or flight. Your nervous system is going to be having the physiologic changes that we know happen with fight or flight. If you're in freeze or like a high functioning freeze, you're more likely to feel kind of numb, empty, depressed, overwhelmed. A lot of guys in this gray stage are actually high functioning freeze. Like, they're going to work, they're getting through the day, but they're pretty detached from like really living. They don't feel fully alive. You can stay there for years, you guys, and not only is it stressful and not at all fun, it takes a toll on your health because our bodies are not meant to stay in these activated nervous system states. And so one of the beautiful things, though, is if we get your nervous system regulated, the color will come back. The creativity, the passion will come back. And I have had the great privilege of getting to see this happen for so many men. In fact, one of my clients, he was in such a rough place. If you guys want to hear more of his story, I have an alumni panel video where he shares it. And it's not here on YouTube, but at the end of this video, there will be an opportunity to take my quiz and you'll get my contact information. You can email me for this video if you want his whole story. But he was started out in a really, really rough place. He didn't want the divorce. His wife not only divorced him, but she took everything, left him completely broke, sleeping on his mom's couch, really, really struggling. And he was in this gray zone for a long time. And he told me that he realized as he started doing the transformational work, which is where he stopped focusing on his ex-wife and he started focusing on himself. and started saying, what do I need to get healthy, to get happy, to get my nervous system calmed down? What do I need to feel whole? He realized that he's been in a low-grade fight or flight response for years, before the divorce even happened. And one of the ways we recognized it is he was like, Rachel, I haven't been creative. I used to be an artist. And I used to produce beautiful works of art, and I haven't had any interest in creating art in like 6 years. And so we knew right from the beginning, we were like, okay, well, this is a marker that we're going to look for in your healing. Okay, this is going to be one of the signs, one of the transition points for you that tells us your nervous system has come out of fight or flight and you're no longer in that chronic activation. And the beautiful thing that happened with this particular client, like so many transformations happened for him. He ended up moving to a new town, getting an amazing job. He transformed so many different areas of his life. But my favorite is he started making art again. And I remember when he started, he was like, I feel creative, like I have the drive. And he was like, it's not going to go anywhere. Nothing's really, I don't think anything will come of it, but I'm going to make art just for me because it feels good. That was a huge win, right? His creativity, his passion has come back. But that passion has come back so much now that he's actually producing incredible art. He's selling it and he's building a whole business around his art. And he's had some really massive successes already in a very short amount of time. Right? And what happened? He didn't go out and set a big goal. He didn't say, okay, I used to do art and be creative. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to make myself, work on my art every single day. He didn't say that. He focused on getting his nervous system out of fight or flight. And when that happened, his creativity came back naturally. You don't force the color to come back into your world. It will come back on its own when your nervous system comes back to a grounded, healthy state. And there's a couple of these signs. Creativity and passion is one of them. Excitement for the future is another. I have one of my favorite posts in the Better Beyond Divorce community from one of my clients was when he wrote, I woke up this morning excited to start the day. I haven't felt like that in a really long time. And if you're in that gray zone right now, you might feel like, how is it even possible to get there? I promise you it's possible for you. What you're feeling right now, that lackluster, not down in the depths of hell anymore, but not fully healed, it is a physiologic state that you're in. It is your brain working perfectly in a fight, flight, or freeze response. There's nothing wrong with you. And when we help your nervous system find safety again, you will drop out of that state. Okay, so how do we get started on that? The first key step is to diagnose where you are on this healing spectrum. Some people watching this are still going to be back closer to those pits of hell, right? The dark, dark, heavy days. Others will actually be a little more regulated than they think. Like you might be more healed already than you think. You might not be as healed as you think. So in order for me to tell you what to do next to support your nervous system in finding that nice balanced state where the color comes back into the world, the joy, the excitement, the passion, the desire to connect with other people, all of these markers that tell us that you are healing, that you aren't stuck in that gray limbo. We have to first figure out where you are in that spectrum so that we can use the right exercises and the right tools to meet you where you're at. That's exactly why I created the Divorce Recovery Quiz. It's a completely free quiz that's going to help you pinpoint and measure exactly where you are in 6 key areas of healing. When you take the quiz and complete it, you'll get 2 things. First, you'll get a breakdown giving you exactly where you're at in each of these 6 key areas so you can get a sense of where you are in the healing process. But then I'm going to give you the tools to take the next step. So when you take this free quiz, you will also get action steps based on where you're at. So depending on how you score in each area, I'll give you customized action steps to take so that you can further that healing journey in a way that's actually going to work for your brain. So we've got to always meet the brain and the nervous system right where they're at. The quiz will help us break that down, and then I'll be able to give you those personalized steps. And you will get all of that immediately for free when you take the quiz. So if you've been wondering why you're not fully okay yet, and if you've been in the back of your mind wondering if you'll ever fully be okay, I promise you that you can. And to get there, we just need to figure out where you're at so that we can help you take the next logical step in your healing. Healing is possible for everyone. Our bodies know how to heal. Our nervous systems know how to heal. When you cut yourself, your body knows how to heal that. When you break a bone, your body knows how to heal that. But a broken bone won't heal properly if it's not set properly. The body knows how to heal, but we have to create the proper conditions. Right? We need to set the bones so they're lined up. We need to immobilize those bones so nothing moves while that healing is happening. And then we need to take care of yourself and give yourself time and rest and good nutrition and all of those things in order to support the body, creating an environment that allows the body to heal. But your body knows how to heal. Your nervous system does not want to stay in fight or flight. It does not want to be in a chronic high functioning freeze state. It knows how to come out of it, but it needs you to create the right environment for that to happen. And depending on where you're at in the healing spectrum, what stage you're in, and not just where you're at in the healing spectrum, you guys, like it's not just like we move from here to here to here. There's different areas that we need to measure, like your sense of identity and how you're doing with the loss of identity after divorce, how much of that you've gotten back or reconnected to, your emotional regulation, the social support in your life. There's all of these different areas that can impact your healing. So it's not as simple as saying you're in stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. We have to look at all these different factors. And that's what the divorce recovery quiz does. It helps you look at 6 different areas that I've learned through working with hundreds of divorced men are really key for healing. And then based on your score in each area, it will give you then personalized, customized recommendations. So come with me into the quiz. Let's figure out where you are, what you need next, and let's take that next step so that you don't have to stay in this gray zone any longer than absolutely necessary. You definitely do not need to be there for 6 years. Let's get your nervous system grounded so you can start feeling better. All right, guys, I'll see you in the quiz.
I'm a version of myself that I like, that I really like. And I can't, I don't think I've ever been able to say or think something like that. So I'm really proud of that and really thankful to Rachel and the rest of the group for that.